Hello and welcome to the CTO show with Mehmet. My name is Mehmet, and in each episode, I will be exploring the latest trends, insights, and strategies in topics like cybersecurity, digital transformation, emerging tech, startups, and entrepreneurship. From thought leaders and innovators to entrepreneurs and founders, we will hear from experts across a wide range of industries who are driving change and making an impact in the world of tech and business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. In today's episode, we are diving a little bit into the world of startups, and I will be talking about startup fundings. I will be discussing various funding options because we hear about them in the news all the time. So you hear someone saying, I raised through crowdfunding, or sometimes you hear they achieved some or raised some fundings from angel investors or from venture capitalists and more. So we will be discussing all the funding options, including also bootstrapping. If you are an entrepreneur looking to fund your startup, or you are just curious about what are the funding options and landscapes in the startup world, this episode is for you. To kick things off, let's talk about what funding means for startups. In the early stages, funding is critical for startups to develop their products, hire talent, and grow their businesses. There are several funding options available, each with its own set of advantages and challenges. One common method of funding, we started to hear more and more about it. It's not new, but it became kind of trend, bootstrapping. Bootstrapping essentially means funding your business with your own resources without relying on external investments. This can include personal savings, revenue from early customers, or even using loans and credit cards. Many entrepreneurs choose bootstrapping because it allows them to maintain control over their business, make decisions without pressure from investors, and avoid diluting ownership. Common questions that arises, like when founders are not having anymore the option of bootstrapping and they need to seek funding for their startup. The answer can vary depending on specific circumstances of your business. Generally, founders should consider seeking funding when, first, they have validated their product or service idea and achieved product market fit through they have early paying customers, their idea is very much accepted by large audience, and they are getting traction in the market. Second, they need additional resources to scale the business. So this is where funding is required because they would need to hire more talent, or they will need to hire more salespeople and marketing resources to have a better reach in the marketplace. The third also consideration, usually if you are entering a competitive market where you are not alone in the marketplace, so this is where funding is a must because you need to establish a strong presence quickly. Another popular funding option, other than raising from different sources, and we will come back to that, is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the practice of raising small amounts of money from a large number of people, typically via online platforms. Globally, Kickstarter is the most famous one. Here in MENA region, Eureka is one of the leading ones. This method allows entrepreneurs to test their product ideas, gain exposure, and build a community of supporters. Especially suitable for startups with innovative products that can capture the public's imagination. However, successful crowdfunding campaigns often require a compelling pitch, marketing efforts, and a strong network of supporters. In addition to bootstrapping and crowdfunding, as we discussed, startups can also seek funding from angel investors and venture capitalists. Angel investors are typically wealthy individuals who invest their own money in an early stage startup in exchange for either an equity or convertible debt. Venture capitalists, on the other hand, are professional investors who manage funds that invest in startups with high growth potential. And we have a lot of them globally and here in the MENA region. Both angel investors and venture capitalists can provide not only the funding, but also valuable mentorship, industry connections, and credibility. However, in exchange for their investment, they often require equity in the company, which can dilute the founder's ownership. Additionally, accepting funding from these sources may involve increased pressure to achieve rapid growth and specific milestones. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode about the startup world and startup funding options. I've covered bootstrapping, crowdfunding, angel investment, and venture capitalists, and when founders should consider seeking funding. Remember that always the right funding option for your startup would depend on your unique circumstances and goals. I hope that this episode has given you a better understanding about the landscape of startups funding. And when you hear something in your news, so you get the idea what they are talking about. And I hope also it will allow new entrepreneurs to understand more about this landscape and can make them have better decisions in the future. As usual, if you have any feedback about this episode or you have any questions about the content, about the show in general, I would be more than happy to discuss that with you. You can reach out to me either by email or by LinkedIn or Twitter. And until we meet in the next episode, thank you very much and stay safe. Bye bye.